Today I'd like to talk a little bit about range in Wing Chun. What is your effective range and how that relates to simultaneous attack and defense, which is a cornerstone of Wing Chun. Effective range, by that I mean you understanding the difference between that or just a little bit out of your maximum range. So what do I think is the effective range in Wing Chun? Now, sort of covered this in earlier videos, the one on the Essence of Wing Chun, Loi Lau Hoi Sung, Lat Sau Jik Chung. In there I mentioned I focus on fighting from the elbow back. And so the video we did on Chi Sao, some students have asked me saying, well, why don't we always just hit whenever there's a gap? Okay, so now from here, I'm going to create a gap for you, saying whenever you feel it, you just strike through. Okay, see. So he hit me, like so. Now the thing about that is, okay, so I want you to hit as hard as you like, okay? He's hitting me, but it's more of a tap, okay? Because he's hitting me at his maximum range. Why is that? It's because you see we're in contact and my hand here is effectively keeping him from getting any closer. So when he hits, it's more of a tap, and if we were in a tournament, some guy with a flag would come running up and say, 1 point, white shirt. But that's not what we're training for. I certainly hope not. We're not into tournaments. So if I was doing it with Tobias here, now you see, if his hand, his fuksao remains strong, and I feel a gap on his bongsao side, so, see, that's what you might call a hit, but it's not. See, I'm striking him almost with my hand fully extended. So my ability to develop power is limited by that, but also by the function that I have not cleared this. Now, there are ways around this, of course I know. I can stay relaxed and I can move in, etc. But what I'm saying, these videos are aimed more at beginners. At the beginning stage, if all you're focusing on hitting, then you're somehow thinking that this is an effective range, when really you're forgetting that you're at the outer limits of your range. In terms of my ability to inflict real pain on him, it may sound good, but that's not a hit. Compared to if I really think about my range and what I want to be doing, where I want to be in this sort of a range, where from here I can be inflicting serious damage to him and his body structure. So, as I said, I don't want students practicing their Chi Sao unaware of their maximum range. These sort of things are just taps, tournament hits, rather than any real benefit to yourself. He's getting benefit, he's understanding there's gaps in his defense, so you can point that out to your opponent, and that's why I always say, there's a bit of a gap here, rather than thinking, that's my chance to attack. No, then you haven't understood your maximum range if you think that's the moment you should be attacking. So sometimes students think that simultaneous attack and defense, like a robot, is programmed into their mind that they have to tan sao, or whenever an attack comes, they're always two hands shooting out at the same time. Simultaneous attack and defense is very important, but you must be aware of your opponent and what they are up to. And keep in mind this idea that that is my maximum, absolute maximum range. And then look at your opponent and decide if your Wing Chun really is about this or this. That's not the only way that one can conduct simultaneous attack and defense. For example, when the hand comes in towards me, his hand here, this hand is, well, people think that it's just making contact. It's not. This is not what do you think the hand is doing? It's not delivering a Masonic handshake. I'm not trying to give him my business card. I'm coming in and I am assessing. I am asking hands with him here. If I feel I can go through, I will go through. But I'll also be aware of the range, the position of his other hands. If I feel he's got a good structure that I can utilize to my advantage, and I am aware of his body structure and that his right hand, most people being right-handed over 90%, I'm aware that that's his primary killing hand. So I don't want to blindly just step into that without assessing that danger there. So all of this is happening when you come in and you make contact there. I may take his balance there instead. I may. there are no hard and fast rules in fighting. I'm reminded of General Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander in World War II. His great saying that it says, when preparing for battles, plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. So you can't learn to fight from YouTube videos, but certain ideas may help you. So what we are trying to understand today is that we have a maximum range in Wing Chun. We don't want to test that limit. We are more comfortable inside. There is no minimum range in Wing Chun. You can hit, as we've shown in previous videos, all the way back here. But there is definitely a maximum. And if you're out here and hitting like so, then you're mostly scoring points in tournament or trying to rely on your muscles or everything that we are not trying to achieve. Our home is inside in this range. We assess our opponent, their stance. You're going to have to take in a lot of things. You're going to see how they're standing, how they're moving, whether they are mobile or they're planted. So many things that you have to assess, and then you can only pick up with experience and more sparring. And then you apply your Wing Chun, not in a robotic fashion where you just think, oh, I must always simultaneous attack and defense, regardless of what the opponent is doing. That is not what Wing Chun is about. We train all our sticking hands, etc., to create an almost automatic response to attack. But paradoxically, at the same time, I say to my students, that doesn't mean you don't have to think about what you're doing. Now, the time for that thinking, as General Eisenhower said, is probably not during the fight, but in your training, if you really understand what is my maximum range and have a good understanding of what is simultaneous attack and defense, then you can put all this together and apply it under pressure, under the pressure of battle.